Hello, I am back with another Eternal card game draft. I might end up drafting tonight and actually playing the games tomorrow, depending on how I feel at the end of this draft. So, yeah, this is really interesting. I think Infernus is not very good. I think Infernus is not a card you want to first pick and then try to build a deck around it. I think you want to have a really aggro deck and then put Infernus into it. Because if you don't, for example, what that card is really for is black, red, graveyard recursion. If you can't bring Infernus back, it's just a Lava Axe, like a 5 damage spell. And that's not a very strong card. Beastcaller's Amulet, on the other hand, I think is great. I also think that Karmic Guardian is great, but it commits you to 2 colors immediately. I think Armorsmith is substantially worse than all 3 of those cards, and none of the commons really jump out at me, except, Awakened Student is great, but it has exactly the same problem as Karmic Guardian, so I'm going to grab Beastcaller's Amulet. And I consider Annihilate a pretty nice reward for that, just making sure there's nothing else I feel strongly about in this pack. Yep, gonna grab Annihilate. 2 solid cards. Okay, so, oh man. So I could pick up Runic Revolver, and I could play exactly the same deck that I played last time. Forsworn Stranger makes no sense. The other combination for black is if I go Primal and grab that Arachnodon, which makes absolutely no sense when put up against Runic Revolver, so welcome to my second identical red-black draft. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. You watched, you saw, you know it wasn't planned. So, execute. Sure. So, this is where things get a lot. Oh, no, I completely missed Rapid Shot. I was like, I have to pick a Heavy Axe, but nope. I overlooked the awesome combat trick. We're perfectly happy to take Obsidian Golem. It's just a cut above Dark Wisp, a cut above Combust. So there it is. 3 super good cards. Ravenous Thornbeast does not interact with anything that we have so far. Unless you want to be sacrificing Obsidian Golems. It's not like we grab Dark Wisp Blast Pack or anything. Rampage is a good combat trick. Rapid Shot is just, we already have a better combat trick. Although Rampage, Overwhelm is nice if you're getting black cards with Infiltrate. As we saw last game. Actually, I don't think I ever pulled that off last game, but that was part of the plan. But I think the card that we're going to go with is Amethyst Acolyte. It's just a great card. Maybe I shouldn't say it's great, but it's certainly a very good card. Okay, this is a really good card that we'll never play. It's just interesting to see it 5th last pick. I think Trickster's Cloak is great. Well, it's unblockable this turn. Hellfire Rifle is something we are almost certainly never going to play, so we're going to go with the Stonescar Stranger. Even though I don't think it's very good. That's the way it goes. Now we grab whatever here. So, we got a rare in our color combination. The only problem is, it does not go with the deck that I was on the path to build. What does this button do? Draft pool? Is this like an unimplemented function? Anyhow, I think Cabal Recruiter is sweet. I think if I grab Brimstone Altar, it gives me a lot of direction, and it means that I can pick things like Dark Wisp, just things within Tomb generally. I still don't love the idea of building a deck where you have to sacrifice your cards without knowing that I'm going to be able to get them back from the graveyard. I can also get Treachery, Like, frankly, all of these cards are cards that we could probably fit into a deck and not be too sad about. Let's get the Brimstone Altar. I've never played with it in a draft, or at all, actually. It has the highest upside of all the cards. It gives us a clear direction. If someone told me that Cabal Recruiter or Treachery or even Crowd Favorite was just clearly a better pick, I wouldn't argue hard with them. But we'll go with this. This is a really, really bad pack. The Ruthless Stranger might be worth picking up here because we have a Stranger. We would then know to prefer Strangers in the future, and we get things like Torch, so that, you know, basically our aggro, if we have an aggro approach, this helps us more than your average deck. And it's not like there's anything else in here that I'm going to play. The question is just, after picking that up, am I going to play it? And, well, you know, I mean, seeing another Stranger here is kind of a reward for that. I think Ashara the Deadshot is absolutely excellent. That's 6/3 Deadly Quick Draw. Yeah, that's really excellent. Like, it basically, there's not much that can block it, and there aren't even many combinations of cards that can block it. Xenon Destroyer also, like, I passed up several of these in the last draft. I'm passing up one this draft. I don't want to give the impression that I don't like that card. It's just that it seems to always come up when there's better stuff in the, you know, on offer. Last pack, I got a second Runic Revolver and didn't play it, and I'm sure that was the right decision. It looks like this pack I'm getting fewer expensive cards so far, but we don't know if that's going to hold up. And I think that if the plan of my deck is having things, you know, having tokens and things with Entomb and whatnot for things like Brimstone Altar, then Burnout is pretty consonant with that plan. Sporefolk is pretty consonant with Recursion, Recurl, I never know what it's called, with Recurl, but we don't have any Recurl yet, so let's try not to build around that. Do I just go deep on Strangers? Like, I was going to say I'll get Amethyst Acolyte because that seems like a very solid pick, but I kind of feel like just going deep on Strangers now. I feel like the marginal usefulness of every Stranger, like, this guy's already a 2/1. The marginal increase of everyone is just bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, this guy now affects, if I take it, 4 cards in my deck. And so if I grab that, I'm definitely going heavy aggro, and the purpose of things like Brimstone Altar and Burnout is not like a game plan where I'm consistently sacrificing things to deal damage. It's like there is some damage over the top. If I can't get in with an attacker, I can just sacrifice it or burn it out. So sure, whatever. Let's see if that's a possible deck. So the Grenadin, so Runic Revolver, again, amazing card. I really don't think that I need 2. I think Grenadin's in a very aggro deck is probably better. This is a much worse card than Runic Revolver. The first Grenadin, however, in this particular deck is probably better than the second Runic Revolver. Maybe I'm crazy. This just seems right. Ravenous Stormbeast is exactly what we're looking for here. Dark Wisp is exactly what we're looking for here. Neither of these is at all what we're looking for here. And Obsidian Golem is a just stunningly good last pick here. I would never have expected to see that. I think that Warhelm is perfect for this deck. We're going to take that and not look back. Lethrai Ranger is exactly what we're looking for. I mean, it's just kind of always exactly what you're looking for. Merciless Stranger. Merciless Stranger. See, the idea of picking Merciless Stranger over Torch makes me itch. Also, Lethrai Stranger is in this pack. But when you go deep, you go deep. What can I say? Make it real. I'm deciding between the Sidearm and the Dagger because, again, even though this game really wants me to have 2 Runic Revolvers in my deck, I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, I'm not playing 2 Venom Fang Daggers. Because putting a weapon with deadly on a creature means you're going to be trading that creature for something bigger than it, right? That's the only case where deadly is useful. So already you're saying, all right, this is going to be a 1 for 2. Blackguard's sidearm obviously is a bigger upside. It's just still not very convincing. Rank Revolver remains great, but I already have one of them. And I am going to be playing several high-cost cards for an aggro deck. So let's get the sidearm. I'm not enthusiastic about it, but it seems like the best of a bad bunch. I think another Thorn Beast seems really good. Happy to take Rampage. Again, like, I really think this is one of the best cards in Limited. Get yourself 3 Flying Guards or something. 3/3, 4/4, 5/5 in the air. Like, this thing gets big fast. Do I want the 3rd Obsidian Golem or a Granite Acolyte? I kind of think Obsidian Golem is just much better than Granite Acolyte. Like, it's just clearly much better. So, I guess I'll take it. Taking Grenadin. We don't need more things that sacrifice units. We need more units to get sacrificed. That's what I think. Do I have 4 of both of these? Okay. Another Thorn Beast. I would play 3 Thorn Beasts. I think Thorn Beast is a very, very good card. If you can put out anything turn 1 or turn 2. Thorn Beast is just so huge on the 3rd turn. It's just huge. Last pack, yep. Gonna take Mana Fixing and be happy about that. Scavenging Vulture is good. I really want to be seeing things like Torch. I mean, I have Annihilate. I think that's it for, like, actual removal. Annihilate, 2 combat tricks, and some weapons. Oh, I also have Execute. Okay, and Burnout. Okay, I'm actually better off than I thought I was. And, you know, Merciless Stranger gives my guys Deadly. Anyways, Stonescar Banner is a pretty clear preference for me there. So, I mean, I can go even deeper on Strangers. I can go arbitrarily deep on Strangers. It seems like really not a bad idea. I think Ghost Form is unconvincing. I see this card more than I would play it. Plague, you know, very conditional, like very conditional, kind of the definition of a conditional card. Amethyst Acolyte, good. Also conditional, a little undervalue. Yeah, it's good. That's a good card. You can't really complain about that. And I already have a lot of fixing. Like, Stonescar Banner does not give me anything that Stonescar Stranger doesn't give me. So, okay, well, Smuggler's Stash is precisely what this deck is looking for. I mean, Rapid Shot is good, but Smuggler's Stash is the key card that we didn't have, pretty much. I guess I'll get another Sidearm now that I have Smuggler's Stash, although probably will not be playing that. I think I have to go with Ruthless Stranger. I really didn't mean to make this deck, but now that I'm making this deck, I think it's got to be Lethrai Ranger, right? I mean, Execute is not, like, it's a very, like, Execute can't hit minions with Endurance. It often can't take blockers out of the way when you need it to. Often people intentionally don't attack or don't block with, like, things that have status effects that they really want to have on the board. That's a much more conditional kill spell than it appears. So, I mean, Dark Wisp obviously fits a very clear niche, but Lethrai Ranger is just a seriously powerful card. And having 3 of them is not a problem. Here's something I won't play. Yeah, if there were sideboards, I would take the kill an enemy attachment, but sideboards do not exist. All right, I'm gonna build a deck, and I will not be... Yeah, I'm going to build my deck. I'm going to pause the video, build my deck, and then when I come back, it may or may not be a different day, which doesn't really matter that much to you, the audience.